Postseason time around the world. MLB started early last week, KBO late last week, CPBL next week. In NPB, one game left in the regular season, but it doesn't mean anything. The field is set, we know who is playing who, and it all starts this weekend. Here's how they finished in Central League. Yomiuri Giants under first-year manager Shinosuke Abe finished at the top for the first time in 4 years. Hanshin Tigers, the defending Japan Series champions, were second, 3.5 behind the Giants. Yokohama DeNA BayStars grabbed the last spot in the postseason, just as they did a year ago. The most disappointing team in all of NPB has to be the Hiroshima Carp, number 2 in the Central League regular season a year ago. This year they were at or near the top all season long, entered September as the number 1 team, then fell all the way to 4th, which means they'll miss the postseason. Tokyo Yakult Swallows 5th, and for the 3rd year in a row the Chunichi Dragons own the cellar. 3rd-year manager Tatsunami is out the door. In Pacific League, the SoftBank Hawks dominated from start to finish, just like the Hawks teams from the 2010s. They are back to the top of Pacific League, 13 games ahead of the second-place team. Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters went from last to second. Manager Tsuyoshi Shinjo, like Tatsunami, had back-to-back last-place finishes in his first 2 seasons. Found himself on the hot seat going into this season, but now his fighters are playoff-bound. Chibalote Marines are number 3, grabbing the last spot in the postseason. Number 4, Rakuten Eagles, number 1 in Interleague, but couldn't do enough against their own league. 5th, Oryx Buffaloes, 3-time defending Pacific League champions, playing without Yamamoto this year, but they were still expected to compete. Instead, they fell hard. Last, and the worst in all of NPB, the Seibu Lions. So here are the matchups. First stage of the Climax Series will be this Saturday and Sunday, and if necessary, Game 3 on Monday. All games played at the number 2 seed's home. In Pacific League, that'll be Marines at Fighters. In Central League, BayStars at Tigers. BayStars Tigers will be interesting. Tigers have some of the league's best pitching. Team ERA 250, allowing about 3 runs a game. Hiroto Saiki was 3rd in Central League with a 183 ERA. 2 other starting pitchers, Shoki Murakami and Kotaro Otake, were also in the top 10. BayStars are the opposite. They rely on their bats. Highest scoring team in Central League, highest team batting, highest team OPS, most steals, 2nd most home runs. Tyler Austin won the batting title with a .316 average. Shugo Maki was 3rd in batting. Austin and Maki were 3rd and 4th in home runs, with 25 and 23 respectively. Toshiro Miyazaki added 14 of his own. But they've had problems with pitching and defense. 2nd highest team ERA, 2nd most runs allowed. The only BayStars pitcher in the top 10 in ERA was Katsuki Azuma. He was number 6 with an ERA of .216. Hanshin was 3rd in Central League in runs scored, despite being 2nd from the bottom in home runs, stolen bases, and team batting. So they're not much of a hitting team, but they managed to score runs. Head-to-head meetings almost a tie. Hanshin won 12, BayStars won 11. So in the regular season, it's a toss-up. But in a best-of-3 series, they will only see Hanshin's top 3 starting pitchers, and it's quite a dangerous trio. Also, all games will be played at Koshien, where Hanshin is tough. So the Tigers are my pick here. In Pacific League, Marines at Fighters, meaning we'll get to see the first ever postseason games at Escon Field, NPB's newest stadium. Unlike the Central League matchup, this one features 2 teams with more of a balance between pitching and hitting. Fighters were the 2nd highest scoring team, Marines were 3rd. In fact, the whole Pacific League standings go in order based on team runs scored. Fighters 3rd in team ERA at 295, Marines 5th at 317. They were 2nd and 3rd in team home runs, but quite a gap between the two. Fighters hit 111 home runs, Marines only 75. Fighters also stole a lot more bases, 91 to the Marines 64. Fighters' power comes from Franmil Reyes, 25 home runs in just 103 games. Chusei Manami, 18 home runs, and Kotaro Kiyomiya, 15 home runs, all 3 of them in the top 10 in Pacific League. Marines get their power from Gregory Polanco, 23, and Neftali Soto, 21, 3rd and 4th respectively in Pacific League. Fighters have 3 starting pitchers in the top 10 in ERA, Hiromi Ito, 266, Takayuki Kato, 270, and Sachiya Yamasaki, 317. Marines only have 1, Atsuki Taneichi, 280. But they've also got number 11, Kazuya Ojima, with an ERA of 358. And don't forget the best pitcher in NPB, Roki Sasaki. He missed some time this year, as he does every year. 18 starts with an ERA of 235, 129 strikeouts, and 111 innings. So if we're judging their starting trio by what they accomplished this season, the Fighters are well ahead. If we're judging them by what they're capable of, it's about even. Might even give it to the Marines. But even if the Marines get the best out of their pitching, I don't think it'll be enough to overcome their struggles, both in the second half of the season and against this team. They were 6-17 versus the Fighters this year, and they're playing on the road. I gotta choose the Fighters in this one. Then comes the final stage of the Climax Series. In Central League, the Yomiuri Giants get the winners of Hanshin and DNA. Giants were 4th in runs scored, 3rd in home runs, 4th in stolen bases, 2nd in team batting. Kazuma Okamoto led the team with 27 home runs, 2nd in Central League. Yoshihiro Maru added 14. Okamoto and Maru led the team with on-base percentages of .362 and .360 respectively. Team ERA was .249, 381 runs allowed. They were number 1 in Central League in both of those categories. Tomiyuki Sugano really bounced back this year with an ERA of .167 in 24 starts. He's heading to MLB this offseason. Second best ERA in Central League. Number 5 in Central League ERA was another giant, Shosei Togo at .195. There's also Iori Yamasaki at .281. And we can't forget about their closer, Taisei. 29 saves with a 0.88 ERA, 0.88 WHIP, 54 Ks in 41 innings. Although I think Hanshin can match the Giants in hitting and pitching, they're facing too much of an uphill battle here. The season series between the two teams was close, but the home team always dominated. And for this series, all games will be played at Tokyo Dome. On top of that, Giants get a 1-0 lead to start the series, so the Tigers need to win 4 out of 6. Not gonna happen, Giants will take this one. Then in Pacific League, the SoftBank Hawks await the winner of the Fighters and Marines. Hawks allowed the fewest runs in Pacific League, scored the most runs in all of NPB, 1st in team ERA, team batting, and home runs, 2nd in stolen bases. Kensuke Kondo won the batting title with a .314 average, highest on-base percentage .439, highest slugging .521, OPS a league best of .960. Hotaka Yamakawa led all Pacific League batters with 34 home runs. Ryoya Kurihara was number 5 with 21 home runs, and Kondo was right behind him with 20. That's right, 3 of the top 6 in Pacific League home runs were Hawks hitters. Von Moanello, in his first year as a converted starting pitcher, won the ERA crown with a mark of .188. Kohei Arihara had Pacific League's 4th best ERA at .236. Moanello and Arihara were tied for the league lead with 21 quality starts. Rest of the rotation is not so dominant, but they've got plenty of options. All games are at the Hawks' home in Fukuoka, plus a 1-0 lead to start the series. Even without those advantages, I'd still say the Hawks win easily. That would set up a rematch of the 2020 Japan series between the Giants and the Hawks. You may have noticed that up to this point I've just gone with the higher seed every time. Boring, I know, but in NPB's postseason system, it's really hard for the lower seed to pull off an upset. Last year there were no upsets. That's what makes the regular season so important. Anyway, in the Japan series, no 1-0 lead to start the series. Both teams get games at home. Since it's an even-numbered year, the Central League team gets games 1, 2, 6, and 7 at home, so a little home field advantage to the Giants. But it won't be enough for them. The Hawks are the better team. Giants all year looked like one of 4 teams with a chance to win Central League, and they managed to be the ones to do it in the end. Hawks, meanwhile, left no doubt they were the best in Pacific League, from start to finish. It won't be a total blowout like it was when these two met 4 years ago. That was a 4-game sweep by the Hawks. This Giants team should manage to win once or twice. I'll say Hawks in 6. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya!